Smoking allowed. Guess this place is a bit behind on healthcare regulations. A calendar from 1991. Guess they really liked that year. No thanks. Women's magazines make my brain melt.
Yeah, they are pretty useless.
Rows and columns of files. Probably easier to use the computer if I need to do some digging. I can't read it from here. A computer. They likely keep records of their patients on it. Was expecting plastic, but this looks like a real plant. She looks bored out of her mind. Pretty understandable, to be honest. Excuse me, nurse? Hey, nurse!
Yeah?
They don't pay you much, huh?
No shit. What do you want?
I'm here to see Charles Wade.
Never heard of him. Anything else?
Bullshit. I know he's here. Listen, it's okay. I'm a friend of the family.
No, you're not, and I said he's not here. Don't make me call security.
What a bitch. I need to get rid of her somehow. Uncomfortable, hard plastic chairs. It's like they're intentionally trying to keep people out. Again? No thanks. Time for a smoke break, don't you think?
What?
You smoke?
No way. Those things will kill you.
I wish, but she'd just call security on me. Smoking. I don't want to burn that. I can't do anything while she's sitting there.
Let's look at our favorite distraction.
Hey, doofus.
Oh, hi!
So, how good an actor are you?
The best! The very best!
You know, that nurse in there, she said she loved you in all those movies, and that she always wished you'd give her a live performance.
I know it. She always gave me these strange looks. I thought it was contempt, but her face must just be cramping up from shyness.
Yeah, that's definitely it. She'd love to see you act, I'm sure.
I'm gonna have to oblige. Which movie do you think she'd like the best?
Natural Bald Killers would be the obvious choice.
Bald move.
Was that the epileptic shock one? the epileptic seizure one.
You've been such a good friend. I can't thank you enough for making me whole again. Turn this scalp into a breathtaking golden carpet, such as the world has never seen. Okay, Doctor, I'm counting down now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Thank you, thank you. You've been a great audience.
Oh, what?
That wasn't really an electrifying performance. I'll have to intervene somehow.
Oh, I'll have to give him a shock. Okay, turns out I was wrong.
Hey, doof.
Oh, huh?
Hey.
Sure.
This one was the one that had the
How about
epileptic seizure.
Business as usual.
Let's see how this goes.
I can't believe you guys did all this for me. You know, what's that smell? Bacon? Oh, Bobby, my head hurts. I'm seizing. Thank you, thank you. You've been a great audience.
Nurse, he's seizing.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like a total jackass. I'll have to make it up to the poor guy later.
Yep.
Employee of the Month, Carlita Mendez. What a joke. It's that obnoxious nurse.
Is it the same as... Yep, that's the right one. Oh shit, gotta find out the password now.
Employee of the Month,
Alright.
Nah, I don't see any reason to break this computer.
Otor Gador. Okay. Ah, what? Patient has undergone successful invasive heart surgery and was transferred to this facility at his own request. The initial prognosis looks good, and the patient is likely to make a full recovery in 6 to 8 weeks. Room 6B. Good. Let's go.
It's all right, Claude. Understood, sir.
So, you managed to find me.
I did.
Well, let's get this over with then. How do you want your pictures? Shall I get some tubes to fill my face with? Will that suffice for your front page?
I'm no journalist. Well, not yet anyway.
Ah, she's but a cub. So, you're hoping for your big break. Surely this must be worth an internship at one of the big papers. Do you want me to call Thompson at the Times and get it over with? I still play golf with him every once in a while.
I don't need to piggyback on favors. I make my own way.
A stance I can respect. Very well, you have piqued my curiosity. Who are you?
I'm Kathy Rain. Joseph was my grandfather.
Now I remember. You were at the funeral.
I was.
You were late.
I needed my morning smoke. Besides, it's not like Grandpa was going anywhere.
Oh, just look at her, Claude. She's absolutely fearless. That's Joseph's blood running through her veins.
She certainly has a smart mouth, sir.
I must say, you have me intrigued, Kathy. What can this old man help you with?
Do you know anything about what happened to my grandfather in '81?
I wish I did, Kathy. You must know I did everything in my power to help. How do you think Mary Elizabeth could afford all that expensive treatment? MRIs, neurologists, say what you will about Joseph. But he was never rich.
Strange. Grandma never mentioned that to me.
She's just too proud. At first she refused. She was convinced that I had an agenda, that there were strings attached.
And were there?
Don't be silly. Despite all that had happened, I still loved Joseph dearly. I wanted to help. People from places like this have a deeply rooted mistrust in the rich, passed on for generations. In her eyes, I had become one of them.
So that's all you know about the whole affair?
Are you implying that there's more to know? I left the diagnosis to the professionals. Mrs. Rain accepted the health care, but asked me to stay out of everything else. So I did.
I see. What can you tell me about your friendship with Grandpa?
Joseph was the best friend I ever had. We grew up together, married our high school sweethearts together, went to war together. I can't even begin to count the number of times he's saved my life. I repaid the favor once or twice, but he came up ahead, no doubt.
So, when did you two lose touch? I heard that something happened between you and him. What was it?
The truth is, Brian Rain happened. Sharon Evans happened.
My parents?
Yes, they ruined everything with their vile, destructive behavior. I couldn't have that around my daughter or my newborn grandson. Joseph was naive. He believed that anyone could be helped, that anyone could be reasoned with, given a chance. He was just too good, bless him. He should have been harder on Brian, more strict.
It's hardly Grandpa's fault. He did everything he could to set my father straight.
Oh, I never claim to doubt Joseph's commitment, but I'm not going to ignore his flaws either. Your grandfather often used his heart when he should have used his head.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I believe it is, objectively. But I shouldn't speak ill of the dead. Eventually, my company grew much too large for this little town, and we moved on. Not long after that, your grandfather ended up in that wheelchair. That marked the end of our friendship, for obvious reasons.
You bought a number of paintings by Lily Myers. Why?
I'm known to dabble in art from time to time. Martha, my wife at the time, was enamored with the paintings. I believe she first saw them at the high school which the Myers girl attended. Anyway, after the poor girl killed herself, I bought the painting speculatively. When a young artist with any talent to speak of commits suicide, it can be a wet dream of certain connoisseurs. Shortly after procuring the art, I had it valued by an expert who determined that the value was 3 times the amount I bought it for. Today, I'm sure I would have made my money back tenfold or more if it wasn't for the art theft.
What art theft?
There was a burglary at the mansion I used to own here in town. It was all over the local news at the time.
Well, shit.
Eloquently put.
Do you recognize the call sign Cocky?
Would be strange if I didn't, since I was the one who coined it. It belongs to a fellow named Jimmy Cochran. He was a coward, really. The nickname is somewhat of a bad joke.
Perfect. Thanks. Tell me about Jimmy Cochran. Is he still alive?
In a literal sense. He's been held in a mental institution for years.
Let me guess. Since 81?
Either 82 or 83. I'm fairly certain it was early 83.
Do you remember the name of the institution?
Something starting with an E. Emerson, Everton, or similar.
Ingstrom? Ingstrom Psychiatric Hospital?
Yes, that's the one. You know the place, Kathy.
I do. My mother is in there. Sharon Evans? I had her committed about a year ago.
I see. It must have taken a lot of courage to do that, Kathy. Mothers have a lot of power over us. More than most of us care to admit.
I guess so. Do you know why Jimmy ended up in there?
Some obsessive-compulsive syndrome. He became fixated with circles and started hurting himself, trying to scratch the circles out of his head.
Creepy. I wonder what set him off. I think I'll check the place out tomorrow. Too late to head back to the city now. Can you tell me about the art theft?
Well, somebody broke in, stole the paintings, and got out. Fairly clumsy job. Lots of broken windows. The strangest thing was that I had a Monet, a Rembrandt, and 2 paintings by Picasso, untouched. But every single painting by an unknown local artist, gone.
That can't be a coincidence.
Agreed. Somebody wanted those paintings badly.
I assume there was an investigation.
Yes, Sheriff Truman came by with his deputy a few hours later, but they didn't have much luck. They found a few hairs, which turned out to be from Ruffles, the family dog.
Some stunning police work right there.
Indeed. There was a single witness, though, who said he could make out multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime, but nothing more than that.
So, I take it the case was closed?
Yes. I honestly didn't care much one way or the other, given the fact that my most expensive pieces were safe and sound.
I think I'll have a chat with the sheriff about the matter, if that's okay with you.
Certainly. I'll call ahead and instruct him to give you everything you need.
That'd be great. Thanks, Charles.
Anytime. But I'm curious. What's your interest in the paintings?
I've learned that my grandfather went to Sue and asked to see them, right before he had his injury.
Is that so? Strange.
What can you tell me about the Church of the Holy Trinity?
They seem like any other church to me. But then again, I'm not their usual clientele. Weddings, baptisms, and funerals are just about what I can muster. And I always leave early.
I don't need... Do you recognize this, Charles?
Of course. Your grandfather, me, Jimmy Cochran, taken shortly before we went to the war.
You guys look like you just won the lottery or something.
Indeed. We were mere children, with no concept of what we were getting into.
Do you know what this key opens?
You must be truly desperate if you ask random people a question like that.
What do you see in this picture, Charles?
Fireflies would be my best guess. They can grow terribly large around these parts.
Do you know what this is?
A flower. Why don't you consult a botanist instead of bothering me with this nonsense?
I don't need to He's being cooperative at the moment. I shouldn't push my luck.
I guess that's it.
I don't... Thanks, Charles. That's all I need for now.
You're welcome, Kathy. Come back anytime.
Just some boring landscape paintings. A private phone. Wade must get special privileges here. Looks like Wade brought some of his old tunes with him. Just some boring... I'd rather not. He'd crush me like a twig. That guy is huge. I wonder how many cows he eats per day. He looks weak, but his eyes are sharp.
Alright, let's go to the sheriff's office.
Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kathy. What's up?
I don't need to ask. Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Not really, Kathy. Sorry.
Nah, I don't want to ask him Nah. I probably shouldn't. Do you know what this is?
I have no idea. Looks creepy, whatever it is. Where did you get it?
Grandpa had it hidden away in the attic.
Probably for a good reason, then. Be careful out there.
Hey, Lenny, do you recognize this flower?
Yeah, I accidentally inhaled pollen from one of them when I was a kid. I remember being sick and delirious for days.
Scary. Where did you come across this flower?
Somewhere in Conwell Woods. Not sure where exactly.
All right. I don't want to... Well, gotta go.
See ya.
He's cute.
Hello, Sheriff. Mind if I ask you a few more questions?
If you must.
I don't need to... Do you know who Jimmy Cochran is?
Nope.
Do you know anything about the art theft in the Wade estate?
Yes, Mr. Wade phoned ahead about that. Lenny!
Yes, boss.
Get the report from the burglary in the Wade estate back in '86?
On it, boss. There you go, Kathy.
Thanks, buddy.
The alarm in the Wade estate is triggered. The house is empty at the time, and the neighbors contact law enforcement. Officers arrive at the scene. Several broken windows can be observed. A sweep of the estate and surrounding premises reveals no trace of the perpetrators. A single witness, identified as Franklin Goldfarb, reports seeing multiple burglars leaving the scene of the crime. Charles Wade arrives in Conwell Springs to make an official statement. After examining the house, he reports that paintings with an excess value of $15,000 have been stolen. The art in question has not yet popped up in any circles that are known to deal with stolen goods, terminating investigation due to lack of leads.
I gotta find this Goldfarb guy. Maybe he knows more about the burglary.
That bum just keeps on coming in handy, doesn't he?
Hey, Lenny.
Hello, Kathy.
Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Sounds familiar, but I can't place him.
I'll hang on to it. Well, gotta go.
See ya.
Hello, Sheriff. I don't need to ask. Does the name Franklin Goldfarb mean anything to you?
Never heard of him. Anything else?
I'll hang on to it. I don't want to. Do you recognize this flower?
Matter of fact, I do. It's a local endangered plant with mild narcotic properties.
Yeah? Have you come across any users in the area?
Sure, but it's a bit tricky to do anything about it. Using it as a substance is technically illegal.
Ah, so the illegal part is picking it in the first place.
Yes, knowingly picking the flower is a crime, according to the Endangered Species Act of 1973.
Gotcha, thanks. Do you know what this is?
Ah, it's just some kids playing pranks with flashlights.
Oh, thank God, I thought it crashed.
That's all for now.
Good.
Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up! I need to save. Save, save, save. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Hello, Sheriff. I probably... He's new in town. I don't want... Yeah, that won't get...
Okay, good enough. Whoops.
That's all for now.
Good.
Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Oh, let's go back to the hospital.
I don't have anything else to say.
Okay, I guess that's it for now.